Welcome back to Mindset English, the place where we bring English to life through the power of stories, voices, and unforgettable journeys. Today, we're beginning a truly special series, one that celebrates the life, music, and legacy of a man who changed the world of entertainment forever, Will Jackson. This is more than a biography. This is a journey into the heart and soul of a boy with a dream who grew into one of the most iconic performers in history. From humble beginnings to becoming the king of pop, this story will inspire you, touch your heart, and perhaps help you understand English and human emotion in a whole new way. So sit back, listen closely, and enjoy this first part of the incredible life of Michael Jackson. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, a small working-class town in the United States. He was the eighth of 9 children in the Jackson family. His father, Joseph Jackson, worked long hours at a steel mill and had once dreamed of becoming a musician himself. His mother, Katherine Jackson, was deeply religious and loved to sing and play the piano. Music ran through the veins of the Jackson household. With 9 children under one roof, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, Randy, Rebby, LaToya, Janet, and Michael, there was never a quiet moment. But it was young Michael who stood out. Even as a toddler, he showed a magical sense of rhythm. He would sing along to the radio, mimic dance moves he saw on television, and perform in front of his family like he was already on stage. His father, Joe, was determined to make something out of his son's musical talents. He was strict sometimes, too strict. He would push his children to rehearse for hours every day, demanding perfection. Michael later spoke about how hard this discipline was, but it also made him extremely focused and ambitious from a very young age. When Michael was just 6 years old, his father noticed something incredible. Michael wasn't just talented, he was extraordinary. Joe had already formed a band with Michael's older brothers, but once he saw Michael perform, he made him the lead singer. Even though he was the youngest in 1964, the group officially became the Jackson 5. Michael's energy on stage, his soulful voice, and his ability to dance like no one else made him the center of attention wherever they performed. Even as a child, he could captivate an audience, connecting with people in a way that felt almost magical. The Jackson 5 began performing in small clubs, school gyms, and talent shows throughout Indiana and Illinois. They practiced constantly, often for several hours a day. Their hard work paid off when, in 1968, they auditioned for Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown Records, a legendary label known for launching the careers of stars like Stevie Wonder and Diana Ross. Berry Gordy was immediately impressed. He saw something rare in Michael Ra's star power. Even at just 10 years old, the Jackson 5 signed with Motown, and their lives changed overnight. Their first single, I Want You Back, was released in 1969, and it became a massive hit, reaching #1 on the Billboard charts. The world had never seen anything like it. 5 African-American brothers led by a tiny, charismatic boy with a voice full of soul and fire. Hits like ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There followed, and the Jackson 5 became international sensations. They appeared on TV, toured the country, and became role models for millions of young fans. But behind the scenes, life wasn't always easy for Michael. As a child star, he had no real childhood. While other kids played in the park or went to school, Michael was traveling, rehearsing, recording, and performing. He was under constant pressure to be perfect. His father pushed him hard, sometimes too hard, and Michael often felt isolated even at the height of his early fame. Still, deep inside, he held on to his dream to one day make music that was his own. By the early 1970s, even as he continued performing with his brothers, Michael began thinking about a solo career. He was inspired by artists like James Brown, Sammy Davis Jr., and Stevie Wonder. He wanted to sing songs that expressed his own emotions, his thoughts, and his vision of the world. In 1971, at just 13 years old, Michael released his first solo single, Got to Be There, which became a hit. Over the next few years, he continued to release solo music while still being part of the Jackson 5. But it wasn't until 1979, with the release of his album, Off the Wall, that Michael fully stepped into the spotlight as a solo artist. Off the Wall was a game-changer, produced by the legendary Quincy Jones. The album combined pop, funk, disco, and soul in a way that felt fresh and exciting. Songs like Rock With You and Don't Stop Till You Get Enough shot to the top of the charts. Michael's voice was powerful, smooth, and filled with emotion. The world began to realize that Michael Jackson was not just a child star, he was a musical force all on his own. But Michael wasn't satisfied. He wanted to redefine music itself. In 1982, he released Thriller, the album that would make history. With hits like Billie Jean, Beat It, and the iconic title track, Thriller, the album became the best-selling album of all time. The music video for Thriller was more than a video. It was a short film, complete with monsters, dance routines, and groundbreaking visual effects. The world had never seen anything like it. And then came the moonwalk. In 1983, during a Motown TV special, Michael debuted the moonwalk while performing Billie Jean. The move became legendary overnight. Along with his sequin glove, fedora hat, white socks, and sparkling jackets, Michael had created a style that was as unforgettable as his music. As his fame grew, so did curiosity about his appearance. Michael suffered from vitiligo, a skin condition that causes loss of pigment in patches. Over time, his skin became lighter, and the media exploded with rumors. Michael also had cosmetic surgeries, particularly on his nose, and these changes became a constant topic of public debate. What many people didn't see was the insecurity, the emotional pain, and the loneliness that came with living under such intense public scrutiny. In his personal life, Michael formed friendships with celebrities like Elizabeth Taylor, Diana Ross, and Brooke Shields. In 1994, he shocked the world by marrying Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of Elvis Presley. The marriage lasted just 2 years. In 1996, he married Debbie Rowe, a nurse, and they had 2 children together, Prince and Paris. Michael adored his children and tried to give them a life full of love and safety, something he often felt he missed growing up. Later, through a surrogate, he had a 3rd child, Prince Michael Jackson II, also known as Blanket. Michael did everything he could to shield his kids from the media, and despite his own fame, he longed for a simple family life. But the 2000s were filled with challenges. In 2005, Michael faced serious accusations and a long, painful court trial. Though he was found not guilty on all charges, the ordeal affected him deeply. He withdrew from the spotlight, struggling with his health, mental well-being, and the endless pressure that never seemed to let up. Yet, his passion for music never died. In 2009, he announced a major comeback tour called This Is It, a return to the stage with 50 sold-out shows planned in London. Michael threw himself into rehearsals, determined to create something unforgettable once again. But on June 25, 2009, just weeks before the first show, the world was stunned to hear that Michael Jackson had died at the age of 50. The cause: cardiac arrest caused by an overdose of a powerful sedative. The world stopped. Fans wept. Tributes poured in from every country on earth. At his memorial, held at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, his daughter Paris stood up and said with tears in her eyes, "Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine." Though he was gone, Will Jackson's spirit lived on. His music, his moves, his message, his legacy continues to inspire generations. He wasn't just an entertainer. He was a visionary, a perfectionist, a boy who became a legend, a man who used music to break barriers, bring people together, and change the sound of pop forever. Through triumphs and trials, Michael Jackson's journey reminds us that even the brightest stars carry shadows, but in the end, they still shine. Thank you for joining us here on Mindset English, where stories aren't just told, they're felt. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new, or if you simply love music and stories that touch the heart, please share, like, and subscribe to the channel. More inspiring episodes are on the way, and you won't want to miss what's next. See you in the next story.